guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a worth the buy or not foundation review on a very new foundation to Sephora. This is the Mercier Flawless Lumiere Radiance Perfecting Foundation. I was at my local Sephora buying the Fenty Beauty concealers and I came across this guy and I was like, I need to try this out because you guys know that I'm a huge fan of Mercier. They have some great complexion products. They have a concealer that I'm just obsessed with. So I was like, I need to try this out. So this year they're doing a more radiant foundation, something that looks more like your natural skin. So this isn't necessarily going to be for the person that is looking for a matte foundation, but you guys know that I love foundations. Anything that gives you a second skin feel with foundation, I'm all about. So I was like, I need to grab this because this may be a good situation. So if you guys want to continue watching, then please go ahead and do so. So this is what the foundation packaging looks like. Right now I don't have any makeup on my complexion. I literally just woke up like an hour ago. It is right now 7 a.m. But this is what we have right here. We have this beautiful glass jar. I did go ahead and match myself in store, which is good because you guys know Mercier has a lot of shades. So I was like, I need to match myself right. So I'm just going to go ahead and start prepping my skin and all that so you guys can go ahead and see how I do this. Okay, so I came in a little bit closer. First things first, I'm gonna go ahead and apply my moisturizer, which is the Ultra Repair Face Moisturizer. I went ahead and did my toner, and I did, what else did I do? I did a spray that I like to do. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and top it all off with this good moisturizer by First Aid Beauty, one of my favorites. My skin is a little red. My rosacea, you know, it has its moments where it acts up and wants to be crazy, so we let it do its thing. My nose has been getting really red too. I'm scared that I'm gonna get rosacea on my nose now. I don't know, I've had these little bumps right here and I'm just like, please, no, I don't want to get rosacea on my nose. Okay, and so now for my primer, we're gonna be using the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. And I'm just gonna be taking some of this product on the back of my finger and then I'm gonna warm it up with my fingertips and just apply it in the areas where I have a lot of enlarged pores and then kind of drag it outwards. Okay, so now let's move on to the Mercier foundation. So I wanna read some of the claims on the back of the packaging. So it says that it's a foundation that delivers a perfectly luminous finish that looks flawless in any light. It's a weightless medium to full coverage formula that feels like second skin. It's supposed to improve the natural luminosity of the skin over time for lasting radiance, hydrates and visibly smooths and softens the skin, and provides 15 hours of moisture. So right away, this just feels like it's going to be a great product for my normal to dry skin people. People that crave that hydration for 15 hours, people that want that luminosity. And I know it probably wouldn't be the best situation for me, but I've been a fan of some more radiant finishes. So maybe this will be a nice radiant finish where it's not like overly done, that we can still get away with if we do have oily skin or combo skin. So I'm gonna be reviewing this for everybody, not just for people that are oily skin. So I'm gonna go ahead and shake it because it does say shake well. And I just want to make sure that the product really gives me the formula that it's supposed to give me. I'm going to be doing this side with my sponge and then this side with my brush. Now I picked up the shade 4W1 Maple. So it is a warm shade. And that's how much I'm picking up. You can see the product is definitely a little bit runny. It's not as runny as some foundations I've tried in the past, but it feels more of that like creamy consistency. Does run, but it feels good. So yeah, that feels really nice. So let's go ahead. It feels really like soft, so I'm excited. I'm gonna be taking my Morphe sponge. Oh wait, let me bring you guys in closer because we're a little too far. There we go. Okay, so let's apply this. The sponge. Definitely a medium coverage right away, and I'm sure it'll build up to a fuller coverage. I mean, it did a good job covering my redness though, for the most part, so that's always a winner for me. You can already tell the difference from the side I don't have anything on to the side that I do have foundation on. So we're gonna pump more out because we don't have anything on the forehead. And my forehead isn't my problematic area, so we don't really go in with a lot of product up here. Just kind of enough to even out what is already going on down here. And we definitely need to cover up this nose because the redness on there is kind of something. So this is with one layer all over the face. I did one layer here. Well, I did one pump here and then another pump up here and on the nose. And I feel like that's enough to cover, you know, what it needs to cover. I think I'm gonna go just a little bit more on my cheek because my cheek, of course, redness, it's hard to completely just wipe it out when you have that redness. It also kind of helps me see how this builds up. But right now I'm liking this radiance. It's nothing too crazy. I thought it was gonna be a little bit more luminous because it really, really focuses on that luminosity. But it feels really good on the skin. It doesn't feel like I have anything on. It feels like a very nice, healthy foundation. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna do this much of the product. And it applies it really well with the sponge. I have to say, I'm liking how it's doing. It's not absorbing too much of the product. There was a time it wasn't last, I think it was the year before, 2017, when I first started to get really bad rosacea flare-ups where my cheeks would be extremely dry. Like, they were like desert dry. And I've never experienced that in my life before. So for me, that was shocking. And that's when I really realized how hard people with dry skin have it. I mean, people that have oily skin, we have it hard because, you know, by like 5 hours or so, we're already like getting like super duper oily and just, it looks nasty. But people with dry skin just have to do the most to prep their skin in the best way possible so that they can't even think about getting a little bit of luminosity to peek through their skin. That's how my cheeks were. Like, anything I put on the most hydrating foundation I own, which was the Kevyn Aucoin, which is like a really like wet, liquidy consistency. And it was like looking hella dry. And I'm like, what? Like, if this is what people with dry skin have to deal with, I give them mad props. Cause I was like, what in the world? I've never experienced this. I've always had oily skin my whole life. So, I mean, I can only imagine how a finish like this on somebody with dry skin feels because the struggle's real for them. And it was kind of, in a way, neat for me to experience that because I feel like I was able to connect with people that do have dry skin. Now, there's moments where my cheeks do get a little bit dry, but it's never been as dry as that one time. And I was like freaking out. I was like, oh my God, I cannot handle this. So give them props. But this looks like a really pretty view. And I just like that it doesn't feel like I have anything on whatsoever. It really looks like my natural skin because I naturally carry a little bit of this radiance here, and that's what it's given me. It also applies beautifully with a sponge. I would say if you're a sponge lover, this foundation is gonna go great with your sponge. But right now I'm gonna go ahead and test it with my brush because I wanna see the difference. Maybe I'll need less product with a brush because I feel like brush tends to have it look a little bit more fuller coverage, but we're about to find out. Okay, so now I'm gonna be taking my Delium Tools Precision Kabuki brush. This brush is literally falling apart, so I'm praying that it'll stay in place just for this video. And we're gonna pump out some product and start applying it on the cheek area. Usually this cheek is more red than this one, but today it actually looks pretty good. I did go ahead and mask. I've been obsessed with this Lush mask that they recently came out with. I'll share it with you guys in my favorites video, but I've been back on that Lush kick. I think I'm gonna start just going with my Lush masks because Lush is just such a natural brand, and I feel like for somebody that has sensitive rosacea skin, it's always good. Okay, do you see that? That coverage was fierce. Like, I feel like it covered a little bit better and faster with my brush right now. Do you see? And we still have a lot of product left. I like that. What I've been doing lately when I apply foundation with my brush is kind of like really rub it in circular motions and also kind of just bounce it, because I feel like when I was just striping it down, it wasn't giving me that maximum capacity. You can see that when you first apply it, it gives you a little tiny bit more of a dewy effect. You can see kind of the difference. I feel like this side kind of set a little bit. It doesn't look so like wet almost. This one has a little bit more of like, okay, it looks like it could be dewy on there. But this side, since we've had it on for a little bit longer, it looks like it's set. Okay, so I have to say, I don't think I'm gonna go in with another layer of foundation on this side because I feel like it gave me the same coverage that this side gave me with 2 layers. So I would say that if you want a more fuller coverage look faster, I would go in with just a brush. But if you kind of want to see how it goes, build it up to your liking, and you're not like a full coverage gal, or you don't have a lot of imperfections that you want to cover, then I would say definitely do the sponge, but either or, they apply it beautifully. So that's what it looks like. I have to say, I really love the way that this foundation looks on my skin. I like this radiance that it's giving me. It just looks very healthy and nice. It reminds me a lot of the NARS Natural Radiant Foundation. It's very similar consistency. If I had to compare it to a drugstore one, I would have to say it kind of reminds me of the Healthy Foundation, or also the Pro Glow by L'Oreal. As for the color, I do feel like this color is a tiny bit darker. Like I feel like in the summer this will be like match made in heaven, but I feel like this was the closest match to me when I was swatching them, because the next one was too dark and the one before was a little too like pink, and I didn't want to go that pink way. I wanted to go more of that warm way because the neutral just wasn't where it needed to be. So now that I put my brush away, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of look into my mirror and see how this foundation looks. Wow. This foundation is sitting so beautifully on top of my e.l.f. primer, like pores wear. This is definitely something that I would want to wear like on a special occasion, or when I really want my skin to look super smooth, because my skin looks really nice. Considering what we have going on with the rosacea, the texture, it still looks very beautiful, and it's not clinging onto any of my dry areas or any of my texture. I feel like it just is giving me a good vibe. So I am really liking this, and it's set very nicely. Even though it has that luminosity, I feel like it gave me a good nice setting feature, because I feel like with some luminous foundations you set it and it still looks super duper wet, or it looks super duper radiant and you're just like, ooh. But this actually looks really healthy. I still have to decide if I want to set it with powder, but you guys will see that when I come back. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is finish off the rest of my makeup, and then I'm going to come back and give you guys my first initial thoughts, and then we can go ahead and start the day and see if this foundation is worth the buy or not. So stay tuned in a little bit. Okay, so I am back. I finished my entire face of makeup. And right now it is 9:33. I actually took a while doing my makeup. I was watching vlogs on YouTube and I was doing this eye makeup. So all the details on this look will be listed down below in the description box, so you guys can go ahead and check them out. But now I'm ready to talk about the foundation. So I actually really love how this foundation looks on my skin. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. I didn't have any issues with it whatsoever. Like, it just went on so well with the rest of my products. I'm not wearing highlight. I know, isn't that crazy? I just feel like because this foundation has a really nice radiance, I don't need to wear highlight. And this is really scary for me because I feel like I always need highlight. But I'm trying to do this new thing in 2019 where I only stick to things that I really need to put on. So if I'm wearing a very matte foundation, then I can wear a nice highlight, you know? But I feel like through the day, this is going to get radiant. So I think me just having this and no highlight will really help it look the way it needs to. So that's a little different, but we'll see how it goes. Now, I do want to say I did go ahead and use concealer. I used my Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Concealer, this one right here, one of my favorites, and I was like, why not use it together, because it's from the same brand. So I used it, and then I went ahead and set my under eyes. I always have to bake them. That's just something I have to do because of my really bad creasing if I don't do it. And once I dusted off the powder, I don't know what it was, but something made it super thick. I think it's because I had residue of the Fenty Beauty powder, and that powder is so awful on me. I just hate it. Update, I do not like the Fenty Beauty powder. I did return it, not for me. And I literally have residue right here of the powder. I'm gonna zoom you guys in so you can see what I'm talking about. That's the only issue I encountered. I don't think it's the foundation or anything. I just think it was the residue of that powder, because this side was much better, but there is some residue. But I'm about to like zoom you guys up close. Excuse my dog, he is barking. You guys can see right here and then some right here. It doesn't look the best, to be honest, but I just wanted to show you guys. So yeah. Besides that, everything else looks really, really good. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do now is continue on with the rest of the day. I will be giving you guys an update probably around 3 p.m. so you can see how this looks in natural lighting. Oh, I forgot to mention. So I did go ahead and set it with that baking powder, and whatever powder I had left over from baking, I did kind of dust it away in the areas where I tend to get oily. So my T-zone and my smile lines, but I did not apply any more powder than that. So it was literally whatever was left, which was very, very little. But everything else looks perfect and in place, and I cannot wait to see how this foundation does, because I really am liking it. I feel like it's a beautiful finish. So please go ahead and continue watching so you can find out whether this is worth the buy or not. Okay, so right now it is 3 p.m. and I'm just doing a check-in of my makeup. You guys can see it looks really, really good. Like, there's a little bit of dew, but it's nothing too crazy for somebody that has very oily skin using a very luminous foundation. So I'm actually really happy that I decided not to do the highlight, because you can see that now that it's been a few hours, there's like a natural highlight peeking through my skin. So I just feel like it just makes it look really nice, just naturally the way it is, without any added highlight. So this is the skin at 3 p.m. and I'll be seeing you guys back at about 6 or 7 to do my last check-in with you guys. Okay guys, so I am back. Right now it is 8:50 p.m. and I have some well-developed thoughts on this new Laura Mercier foundation. As you guys can see, the foundation looks pretty nice, I'm not gonna lie. I did go ahead and give you guys a check-in, and I mentioned in my check-in that it did have some radiance, which it still does, and I'm really happy I didn't go in with highlight, because I feel like highlight would have been just way too much. So I think that this foundation is a very beautiful foundation. It's definitely geared more towards my dry and normal skin ladies. I would say that if you're somebody that has oily skin, I wouldn't recommend this to you. I wouldn't say go out and spend $48 on this, because you probably will not like it and will be like, why the hell did she tell me this would look nice on me? Because you're gonna get dewy, and the last thing somebody that has really oily skin wants is dew. Now, I do have to say though, I really love the fact that this is a very healthy looking foundation. The whole time that I was wearing this foundation, I didn't feel like I had a lot of makeup on. I felt like I had something very, very natural and skin-like. So I was really happy about that, because there's many times where I go into trying a foundation and I'm just like, oh my God, this feels heavy. But it's really awesome that lately a lot of brands have moved into that more skin-like finish and feel. And it's just been a blessing, because mama loves a good full coverage, but also very skin-like wear. So I definitely say that this is geared towards dry and normal skin, and I feel like it gives such a beautiful radiant finish. I would say that if you do want to try it out and you have oily skin, you could always mix it with a foundation that is more matte, and I'm sure would give you a really in-between gorgeous finish. But I just feel like if I had to think about it, doing that, I wouldn't want to, because I feel like what's the point of me going out and spending $48 on something that may just, you know, have to be mixed with something else for me to give it the finish that I want as an oily skin person. But like I mentioned, as an oily skin girl, I do think this is a very beautiful finish. And even though we do look luminous, I found that the times that I did blot, which I did blot like once or twice, it didn't remove the product. Like the product still stayed intact. Usually when I go in and blot with some foundations, it removes all the product right away. Especially right now for this time of the year where it's really, really cold and things tend to be really dry. If you're looking for something that's gonna give you that luminosity, you're gonna be like, Yes, hunty. So those are all my thoughts. I really hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video. I always like to keep it as real with you guys and also offer diverse reviews. Even though I do have oily skin, I still want to offer reviews that would be beneficial for my ladies and gents who have dry skin, because I know you guys are always looking for a good opinion. So I'm here for everybody, and if you guys did enjoy watching this video, please give it a big thumbs up. It lets me know to continue doing these types of videos. If you guys want to see any other foundation reviews, please let me know down below in my comment section, because I always love more suggestions. Sometimes I'm a little stuck and I need you guys to like help me, but I think we're on a roll right now. There's a lot of new launches that I'm just so excited to get into, so expect a lot of videos from me coming very soon. And what else do I want to say? Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And also, please go ahead and hit that notification bell so that you're notified every single time I upload a new video, because I wouldn't want you guys to miss my videos for the world. And that being said, I'll be seeing you guys very, very soon for a brand new video. Bye, guys.